This video is sponsored by Raid Shadow Legends. Just kidding. Do I look like a fucking gamer? Fuck that shit. I don't even play games on my phone. No thanks to you. Like, comment, and subscribe if you want to see more. Sup, fuckheads and fornicators? 'Tis I, your fearless leader, and let's get it on. I don't believe it.
Before we get to the adventure,
Peacemaker so far is just totally kicking the shit out of Boba Fett's ass when it comes to the content and quality.
The extreme always seems to make an impression.
My adventure started on Friday, January 14th, for the kickoff of Predapool's birthday. Where did we go? The usual, the Sunset Strip. While there, I got drunk, went to the Rainbow, probably hung out at Hollywood Boulevard. I don't remember. I drank too much and did too much other stuff. Then after that, just for Predapool, we did the usual, party at our friend Marcus's awesome mansion, as seen in Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. No, you haven't seen the house, but it's in that neighborhood. But They Live was filmed at that house.
I have come here to chew bubblegum and kick ass. And I'm all out of bubblegum.
but enough about that. Predapool likes to celebrate its whole week, and since there's no NAMM, might as well take advantage of it. Then the following week was Predapool's actual birthday, but Predapool was too fucking hungover.
But me and Layla, because it was also our anniversary weekend, went to the Corona Del Mar Tide Pools. Then after that, of course, we went to the Metal Sideshow with Heavily Trip to Hell.
On the darkest night, in the deepest grave, painted blood, walking back where I saw
And Tyrannus, but mainly Heavily Trip to Hell. I got to announce the band. While there, kicked it with Khhryst and Sam. Khhryst was trash, but it's kind of a given.
Well, duh!
As well as Vera, obviously the HCH crew because I announced them, Shane and Megan. Then we warped it to Bar Sinister, where it was their Prohibition themed night. And Layla ended up winning their costume contest. Then after that we went to the Rainbow, Paul and Valen represent. Then the next day, me and Layla went to Buena Park to this new awesome restaurant across the street from Knott's Berry Farm called The Cauldron. Very goth decor. It's more of a drinks and appetizers place, but I highly recommend. Just go there, dude. It's gonna be our usual spot once a month, so there you go on that one.
Well, duh.
Then the following weekend was Metal Mayhem at the Universal Bar and Grill. Cornflakes was cool, and that's just about it, really. I mean, it's a January show and there's no NAMM. Do the math on that one, right?
Nag, 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 nag!
Then after that, chilled, watched a few shows, which you saw in our other reviews. And then it was following Tuesday was Ultimate Jam Night at the Whiskey and Vampire Nights at the Rainbow. And dude, it was packed. Like, yeah, it was a Van Halen themed night, and we even had the guy from Steel Panther. February 10th, which was a Thursday, I was planning on staying in, but Predapools twisted my fucking arm, and I went to the Whiskey for the Night Snipers, which is Russian Indigo Girls-ish alternative group from 92, 93 that was banned from playing in their own country because they called out Putin on Ukrainian invasion. And didn't get there in time, but it was basically every Russian in Hollywood all in one place. There's even police helicopters and all that shit.
I mean, come on!
When it comes to Russian music, there's two types, I've realized. Three if you count Red Elvis's.
Why don't we do some boogie boogie? Boogie boogie on the beach, why don't we do some boogie boogie?
Either you're good, where you sound like Little Big, which is awesome, or you sound like shit, like Pussy Riot, where you're all, you know, about your message and wokeness and your music really sucks. And I can't take Pussy Riot seriously because they're not even a band, it's just 4 girls in a ski mask and then a guitar player because, you know, they're always getting arrested, so they suck. They play to a trap.
Go fuck yourself.
There is a reason why you're always getting arrested while Little Big isn't. It's because you suck. I mean, you came to America so you could sound generic instead of shit. I mean, people want to say you're inspiring and you're empowering and all that other
Bullshit. Bullshit. Bullshit.
You're no G.G. Allen.
What do you want your world to look like? What do you want it to be?
But back to the Night Snipers. They don't suck as bad as Pussy Riot, but they're not as good as
My dick is big, my dick is very big.
The next day was Stephen fucking Piercy, you know, from Rat.
Round and round, what comes around goes around. I'll tell you why.
Oh, dude, it was awesome because I ran into Juan's cousin Juan there.
You know, the director of Rick and Morty. And
I was basically his tour guide, showed him the rainbow. And the next day I was supposed to stay in because it's the Saturday before Valentine's Day. But of course, Predapool, as always, twisted my fucking arm.
Come on!
We went to the strip as always.
The extreme always seems to make an impression.
The whiskey was Hollywood Roses. And
it was alright. I mean, it's Hollywood Roses. Kobe's a homie.
got myself a drink, said hi to all the homies. Then went to the Viper Room, and playing there was Lily Rose, not to be confused with Lily Rose. And ran into Tommy Black, got a free shot.
Love you, Tommy. Love you, Dave. Love you, Rita.
You rock. Then I went to the Rainbow, shut the shit for a bit, got bored, went home. Then the next day was, well, Sunday, and nothing much happened. But one thing I did spot on my radar was that Nerdrotic finally left California.
Good fucking riddance. Don't belong.
Oh, good for you!
And then Friday, February 25th, where we went to the whiskey for Kottonmouth Kings. And if you remember the last time I saw Kottonmouth Kings, they were the Juggalo group who has downgraded the most because they went from having like basically the prettiest looking Juggalette crew to like the most mutated tweaker crew because, you know, if you know anything about what I say about Kottonmouth Kings, because I'm from the neighboring town, is that
They're tweakers who pretend to be stoners.
and meth is a hell of a drug.
Especially after 20-some years of doing it. So their crowd were a bunch of fucking mutants.
But this time around, no, they actually got the hot young tweaker bitches. So, a bunch of hot chicks.
Yeah, their crowd's not as pretty as the fucking Head PE crowd when it comes to the Juggalo, you know, crew, but it's still good.
And they had a band this time. What? Then after that, I went to the Rainbow, and you know the drill.
Well, duh.
The next day was the 6-year anniversary of Metal Mayhem with Nightmare, HTH, and Lit Soul. I got there in time to announce HTH, mingle with a bunch of people, the usual blah blah. Then on the following Thursday, me and Layla went to go see The Batman. And for a 3-hour movie,
Oh yeah!
you've heard all the fucking shills and all the reviewers talk about it, but here's my thoughts on it. As a Batman movie, it's good for what it was. I saw it twice, Thursday and Friday, because Layla loved it so much.
Hell yeah, be buddies with that shit.
Yes, this is her Batman.
Come on!
I've seen every Batman movie in the theaters, except for Lego Batman, because that movie was a Lego movie, not a Batman movie.
Fear is a tool. When that light hits the sky, it's not just a call. It's a warning.
For once, you millennials have your Batman. Like I always say, there's 2 types of Batman. Pure Batman is when you're the same ages. And there's parent Batman when you grow up watching it. And when you're older than Batman, you're Alfred age. You're the mentor. Like we'd be Bruce Wayne and Batman Beyond.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're getting to the fucking Batman Beyond era.
Yeah,
Okay, you and me
exactly.
both.
Yeah. Well, exactly. Mickey Rourke would have been a better Frank Miller Batman. Because what is Frank Miller Batman? A guy who's been beaten to death
Yeah, he's
and
got
coming back
that
wanting to fight more.
You're under arrest, mister. You just crippled that man.
He's young. He'll walk again.
For example, me growing up as a kid, hell, my parents' Batman was the Adam West Batman, and I grew up watching those as a kid. And then when the Tim Burton, Michael Keaton Batman came out, that was my parent Batman, who I looked up and strived to become. Then Clooney and Kilmer. Then along came the 2000s and Christian Bale. That was my peer Batman, and Batman's closer to my age, as well as Ben Affleck.
Get on with it.
Movie set year 2 of Bruce Wayne being Batman.
But he hasn't really came up with his personal mask of pretending to be Bruce Wayne, the douchey playboy yet.
The extreme always seems to make an impression.
Christian Bale was a good Bruce Wayne, but an alright Batman. This one, he's Batman 24/7, so he hasn't really come up with a facade of...
Most Batman have been kind of bro-ish.
And this Batman is goth as fuck. There's parts where he hasn't even taken off his eyeshadow yet.
You mean this literally, I take it? Absolutely.
And then this movie's trying to get you to see into the fourth dimension. And
the whole setting, all the gangs, and it just shows you how fucked up Gotham is. Bitches! Everybody's been saying how unrecognizable Colin Farrell is as the Penguin. I liked it, you know. To me, he's like more of an upgrade than Robin Lord Taylor's portrayal in the Gotham series. And my thoughts on the Zoe Kravitz Catwoman, well, one, she's perfect for the role, because what is Catwoman? A slut. And every role that fucking Zoe Kravitz has played has been a slut. The first time I ever saw her was in X-Men First Class, where she played a stripper. You know, a slut. And what I think is funny is how Catwoman theatrically has always been downplayed from her actual occupation. Catwoman was a prostitute. This one, she's just a cocktail waitress working for the mob, you know, who also steals because she's from poverty. I think she's perfect for the role. And also, it's a big apology for the fucking Halle Berry fucking Catwoman.
I've made a huge mistake.
When it came to the original 3 Catwomen, right, there was obviously Julie Newmar, Lee Merriweather, and of course Eartha Kitt. And the one who stood out the most was Eartha Kitt, not because she was a woman of color, because she was very cat-like. And you know what she had over the other 2 Catwomen? She had that fucking Catmobile. So what I'm looking forward to in this Catwoman spin-off is I want her to have the fucking Catmobile. Hashtag bring back the Catmobile.
Perfect.
Also in that episode had the Riddler in it, and they got John motherfucking Aston, you know, Gomez Addams from the original Addams Family series.
So yeah, put that in your mind. Fucking awesome, right?
And of course, the fucking Riddler, who's basically just the Zodiac killer with a little bit of Saw thrown in. He was annoying, goofy, perfect. And I think it's cool it's the guy from Little Miss Sunshine, or the douchey little shit from Cowboys and Aliens. Like, Paul Dano, you're my Riddler.
I've always loved little toys.
The Riddler is a person who's done, who's fed up.
I'm just an instrument, here to unmask the truth about this cesspool we call a city.
Kind of looks like a fat, dorkier version of fucking Frank Gorshin, if you think about it. He has like hair color and shit. Jim Carrey was too annoying as the Riddler.
I mean, come on!
The whole goal of the 90s when it came to Riddler was trying to differentiate Riddler and Joker because they're too much similar.
Riddler? You stealing my shtick?
I do riddles. I don't tell jokes.
This movie took elements of Saw, Zodiac Killer, Seven, and obviously, aesthetically, The Crow. Mainly Crow 2, and made it PG-13 and called it Batman. If you would have made it R, it would have been perfect. But all in all, I give this movie a 6 out of 10. It was above average, but I'm not your target demographic. If you are a millennial, watch this movie. If you're an Xer, stick to the fucking Christian Bale's one.
Get on with it.
Yes, get on with it!
Then the next day, Rose Tattoo was supposed to play the Whiskey for 3 days, but they canceled again. So instead was Dizzy Reed's Hookers and Blow. It was fun. Ran into a few butt rocker people, you know, rock and roll, all that shit. Then after that...
What the hell is this?
There's only one negative thing I have to say about it.
And it's a big one, though.
It reeks of Seth Rogen.
I mean, come on!
I hated the editing. The editing was atrocious because you could totally tell they wanted it on, like, FX, but you couldn't have a show like that on FX.
And of course, the first episode is all about Rand, but it's still a good show.
Even though I fucking hate Seth Rogen.
But why?
Well, for one, Sebastian Stan and Lily James transformed themselves.
Oh, yeah!
And they took the Winter fucking Soldiers, watched The Dirt, and saw Machine Gun Kelly going,
Yeah, we can do better than that.
he got his mannerisms during the time of Tommy Lee's worst era.
Come on!
Grunge was phasing out and rap rock was slowly phasing in. And Tommy Lee's Methods of Mayhem.
Bullshit. 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 Bullshit.
Shit!
96? Yeah, it was Orange County, not fucking Seattle.
And then Pamela Anderson's like height of her career during Baywatch and her about to do Barbed Wire. And that was my adolescence. Layla hates it.
Nag, 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 nag.
Fifth episode is so far the best episode. The problem is, Motley Crue in the 90s, early 90s, that's when Vince Neil wasn't a singer anymore. They had fucking John Corabi, you know, the guy who, at the end of the year at the Whiskey, does his acoustic set and half the time bitches about fucking phone company. And then?
Wednesday, March 9th, where I went to the Bourbon Room for their jam night. And
What the fuck are you talking about?
the Bourbon Room, if you don't know, is the place that used to be the Beatle House.
I'm the ghost with the most, babe.
And, well, it was alright. Some cover band called Keith Richards was playing. Ran into fucking Lena. And after that, went to Wednesday's parties, aka free bar transfer on Wednesdays. Not bad.
And maybe later you can save a little piece of tail for me.
I'm set to go. If you want to hear my official jam, Daisy Chain for Satan by My Life with a Thrill Kill Cult. My Welcome to the Underground Dark Song. By the way, if we're going to be talking about Thrill Kill Cult here, I recommend listening to the first two albums all the way through. First album came out in 1988, and it's a concept album that takes you into the world of the... Second album takes you into a slasher movie.
Man, the extreme always seems to make an impression.
See, Thrill Kill Cult is who Marilyn Manson ripped off.
Really?
Yeah.
Man, that does not fucking surprise me.
And the reason why I know this, I used to follow around a band called the Deadly Seven, and their guitar player is an old friend of mine who used to be in the Infinite Sea Snakes, the sex rock band, go on tour with Thrill Kill Cult. And who was in the crowd watching both those bands play? Doing a review, and then 6 months later starts the Spooky Kid, which later on became Marilyn Manson.
Oh, snap.
You just talked.
I'm just a temp worker. I go wherever and whenever. Factories, maintenance, warehouses, you name it, I've done it.
Max Headroom. Tubi, you know, my favorite app. Tubi's the best.
Love some fucking Tubi. Hell yeah.
Yeah, Tubi's the shit, my friend. They have the entire series. And you can binge watch it in like a day, because there's only 14 episodes within 2 seasons.
Yeah, I remember when it was on, like, originally. Like, we watched it, but I can't hardly remember.
Well, there's different levels of Max Headroom. Like, there's the Max Headroom Show, which was a music video show. Max Talking Headroom Show, which was a talk show like Space Ghost Coast to Ghost, but in reverse. And then there's Max Headroom, which was a cyberpunk dramatic series.
Yeah, it came out on Fox, didn't it?
No, this is before Fox, dude.
What was it on?
It was on ABC.
Was it?
Yeah, it aired against Miami Vice, but I watched Max Headroom instead because Max Headroom was ahead of its time. I mean, there's some things that kind of dated a little bit. For example, there's this old punk rocker guy saying things like classic songs by the Sex Pistols, which back then it's like, at that point, punk rock was only 10 years old. Now it's like, yeah, I know a lot of old punk rockers, like Captain Anarchy.
God, dude.
Like, I watched that movie, I'm like, oh my god, it's Captain Anarchy. They predicted Captain Anarchy. You know what I mean? Oh, you know what's even funnier? All right, so there's 2 episodes I recommend of Max Headroom. One's called Whack. It's where it has Bill Maher in it.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, babyface Bill Maher. And the other one, Tequila Mockingbird, is an extra. Like in Batman Forever, when they have that band play.
Holy shit.
Yeah, holy shit. Exactly, your catchphrase, holy shit, yes. Oh my god, is that tequila? Like there's a part in one of the episodes where they have like this sci-fi cult.
Yeah.
When they show that cult, fucking, it's so obvious, the LA Natural History Museum. Same museum they used in that Workaholics episode when in the museum. You can watch it on Tubi. Then, the following Friday was Metal Mayhem Return to the Rainbow.
Fuck yeah!
I missed the 2 opening acts, but I did get there in time to announce the Heavenly Trip to Hell. It was cool. A lot of people there ran into Angie. Fucking Nightmare kicked ass. It was just a badass show. And also at the Whiskey was Six Gun Sal and Porn Flakes. It was cool.
I think Peacock has fucking mugged Netflix. They've got a show called Joe versus Carol. I'm like, oh my god, that was like Netflix's big thing. What was it, last year before last? It was so huge.
Then it was St. Patty's Day. I just went to my friend Khhryst's house, had a little get-together. Meanwhile, my Predapool went to Universal Bar and Grill and then the Whiskey for Green Jello. And I missed that show, but it would have been cool. I had to do something nice for the lady.
Whatever.
Then the next night was the Zeros at the fucking Whiskey. Then the following week...
Oh shit, that was a bad luck week and good at the same time.
The bad luck was my silver HHR finally died. So now me and Predapool have to share one car. Then Shadow Vessel canceled being one of my patrons, so...
I'm a fucking natural black pill. I mean, I kind of hate it, you know, but I've learned to deal with it.
But he's not permanently done. He just has to unplug for a while, according to what he says, which you're gonna see in the new issue of Lost Anarchy. Then the following Friday, playing the whiskey was Doyle from the Misfits, but I got there too late. But on the bright side, we got someone on the cover for the new issue. After that, we went to an after party. I got 2 trash, and I left my phone there. So I was out of phone for 2 days. That kind of sucks. Then the following Sunday, I did the whatever hermit thing while Predapool went to Venice and this place where I left my phone. And did I mention it was Oscars night and Predapool had to drive in Oscars night traffic to retrieve my phone?
I've made a huge mistake.
Oh, and of course, you know what happened at the Oscars.
And then
WonderCon. And Layla went with me. She enjoyed finding some treasure. She didn't want to go, but I didn't want to go either. Because if every other panel's in SJW, Woke Fest, and at all conventions, the one I run into the most woke fuckers I want to punch are WonderCon.
come on!
It's obvious that they got the idea of making a female Thor from seeing girls cosplay as Thor. It's poser nerdland. But we found some treasures. You know, there was a cool booth called Rockin' Pins. They do Fleischer screenings. After that, Moon Knight premiered, and close but no cigar. I mean, Moon Knight was an interesting character. I used to have a Moon Knight comic, you know. He's basically their version of Batman. And Oscar Isaac's performance is decent, but my problem I have with it, it's up from every MCU studio-mandated, non-binary hoppopotami with fucking clipboards going, oh, no, we can't have him be an awesome character. We can't have him be, like, confident and badass. No, we need, because the main character has disassociated personality disorder, or whatever the fuck, identity disorder, some shit like that, right? So he has multiple personalities, but his primary personality is some literal soy boy. You know what I mean? Like, he's a vegan and a complete wimp and all, like, scared of everything, because it has to have that horror thing to it without actually any gore, you know? And then his dominant personality is the character Mark. I fucking hate the Steven personality. Fucking loathe him, because he's literally a soy boy. I mean, seriously, Disney, stop. Get rid of your fucking non-binary hoppopotami with clipboards. You're not helping anything. You're just alienating fan base, but no, toxic fandom and shit. No, fuck you. I'm not even gonna talk about the show. I'm not even gonna cover it. I'll watch it just because, you know, my chick has Disney Plus and I can watch it on my own. But it's boring as shit. Fuck this show. Seriously, fuck this show. I mean, I refuse to watch Hawkeye. I'm definitely not gonna watch Ms. Marvel because that's just basically nepotism to the Veep who is the reason why Marvel went to shit. So fuck all your shit, Marvel, and fuck Disney. But enough about that. The next day was day 2. I got to go full Mojo, pass out back issues because at the time I didn't have the new issue out yet. Got my drink on, mingled, went to an X-Men panel for about 30 seconds. Also, while they ran into Nicole Six, who went to a really boring panel, went there to down one of my shots. And that's basically it.
Meanwhile,
I don't know, but Janurary's awesome, man.
Yeah, I wanted to find out who else has done a review on Lost Boys 2 and 3. And that's how I found out about him and Cinematic Venom. He doesn't exist anymore. He started off as a guy trying to be part of the channel Awesome, and they rejected him. And he's such a little bitter British boy that when Change the Channel happened, he started like just trolling the shit out of him, got popular out of it.
That fucking little shit that I told you about a while back. The Lantern 2814, dude, I used to do on my streams with. Same fucking deal. You know, it's just like...
He got too big for his britches?
Yeah, and now all he does, he was a big Snyder supporter, and then the movie came out, and then he started hanging out with all these Marvel tubbies, and now he's crawfishing on every fucking good thing he's ever said about these movies, and just being a bitch. I've never done anything, I've never made a video to say anything shitty about that dude, you know, because, you know, I get it, he's young, his mind's twisted, you know, I tried, I saw the shit coming, but, you know, it's like, hey, you can't change people, alright, everybody's their own person.
Yeah.
You know, get along. And that's what we did, and it finally came down to us coming down to like, okay, dude, you gotta stop. Every time somebody mentions Zack Snyder, you have to fucking tweet something dumb about it. You know, it's like, this is eating you up.
At the moment I said fuck Zack Snyder was Sucker Punch. Like, visually it's cool. If you put the movie on mute, it's good. But the story all around sucks. And then it also started a femme fatale thing where, why do women get all the cool toys and men have to use like a small pop gun? Have you noticed that? Girls get all the big guns and the guys get like the small little gun because they don't need a gun because they can do it themselves. Well, no. Guys should get the big guns too. You know my favorite character, who my favorite character in Police Academy was, other than Jones? Fucking Tackleberry. Tackleberry, the guy who was just nothing but guns. Like, Tackleberry was the shit. He didn't just have a small gun. He had a bunch, like, his sidearm was a 44 Magnum. And then everything else was like...
Take a 44 Magnum to the beach and shove it to the snout of the shark.
Yeah.
Like in that one sequel.
Yeah. So, Zack, like, my thing about the Snyder douchebags is, Zack Snyder, I liked 300, I liked Watchmen. You know, his passion project, you're going like, I get it. You took a note from fucking Tarantino going, whoever gives the best blowjob is the main character.
The Weinstein method.
Not even the Weinstein method.
I know.
It's like the whole incel culture thing, right?
Get on with it. Yes, get on with it.
Then on the following Wednesday, the new issue of Lost Anarchy magazine came out. And where did we go? Well, I first dropped off at the Whiskey and Rainbow because that's our primary spot. Plus also it's, as you know, celebrating the Rainbow's 50th anniversary party. And then after that, we went to Bordner's for Wednesday's party, aka Free Bar Sinister. It was fucking packed. Usual suspects were there. Jeffrey Dammit. We went there with Nick. You know, not much to say. A lot of hot chicks.
Well, duh. Then, you know, the following Friday, 2 days later,
was technically my launch party for the mag. I was supposed to do double time, but HTH had to cancel because of stuff I won't really bring up in the video here. You gotta find that out. It's pretty cool what happened though, but that's a good reason to not play a show, you know? But yeah, like I was saying, so went to the Rainbow, dropped off there, went to the Whiskey. Sponge was playing.
16 candles down.
and you know what I say about Sponge? Sponge was the bronze medal when it came to the grunge bands.
Right, like it was either Pearl Jam, Stone Temple Pilots, and if you couldn't afford to see either one of those bands, you saw Sponge. They're fun for what they are. I mean, they rocked, but it was more packed at the Rainbow for Metal Mayhem Friday. I missed most of the bands because I was too busy mingling and getting shit-faced to really care about anything. But the Darbies played and they fucking rocked.
It was the fucking Darbies, dude. That's all you need to know on that one.
Then after that, it was an after party at a place called Drac House. This crazy underground after-hours spot. Cool interior, but you couldn't spot it a mile away because it's in the heart of downtown LA, aka Skid Row. And then Ultimate Jam Night. But while there, I made a new friend. And Friday, where I went to announce Heavenly Trip to Hell at the Doll Hut.
On the darkest night, in the deepest grave, bacon blood, walking men will rise again.
The usual suspects were there. I had to make it quick because I needed to warp 10 to the strip to drop off more mags there because, you know, it's a week before the anniversary party and I had to make my appearance and all that stuff.
Well, duh.
While there, not much happened, so the next day we went back to the strip, and the Rainbow had a power outage. So we ended up doing Hollywood Boulevard. I went to the Bourbon Room, hung out with Torrance, as seen in Jake's Booty Call, the interactive game back in the 2000s.
Why don't we go back to my place and you can taste the candy?
Baby, you read my mind. Let's go.
And of course, Elbow Room, where I ran into John Seminara, the homie. You know, the guy who was in iCarly, also from Mangusta.
Every night out in the street, chewing it with the people you meet.
Yeah, it was kind of a wasted night. All I have to say is, well, this night was wasted.
I'm not mean. You just enable assholes who use their bullshit as an excuse to get their way. Hashtag fucking millennials. Hashtag fucking zoomers.
Then the following week, I wanted to keep it low key due to the fact that, you know, not having a lot of money and anniversary party was just the following Sunday. So I did the opposite, actually. Stupid! On 4/20, I went to the Whiskey for a night of funk with a Circle City band.
Working in the beach, gonna make it right. Put that funk to the morning light.
It was dead. The Rainbow, on the other hand, was fucking packed as fuck. And after that, I went to Wednesday's parties, aka Mini Bar Sin.
They're all zombies racing to their graves.
Then the next day was Enuff Z Nuff at the Whiskey.
Funny thing about Enuff Z Nuff is that to me, back in the day, they were like the gayest looking glam band. Well, not the gayest. They weren't as bad. They didn't look as gay as Nelson or fucking Stryper.
Led by the charismatic pairing of bassist Chip Z'Nuff and vocalist Donnie V, the band were more power pop than glam, as they would blend the styles of the Beatles and Cheap Trick for the hair metal generation. Enuff Z Nuff's career failures were made up of every rock and roll cliche: drugs, infighting, a revolving cast of band members, bad business decisions, and death.
And that's why they had all the raunchy, slutty groupies.
Well, duh.
Enuff Z Nuff would release their latest album titled Brainwash Generation. It does appear that Chip's Enuff and Donnie V's relationship is still deeply fractured, with Chip telling Louder Sound,
And then when I first time saw them like a couple years ago, their fans were just their daughters. Now Chip just looks exactly like Captain Anarchy. If you had a picture of both of Captain Anarchy and Chip's Enuff side by side, you couldn't tell the difference.
Nag, 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 nag!
And on following Friday was Shark Island at the Whiskey. Captain Anarchy was there, Game was back issues finally. It was awesome. And then we went to the Drag House in downtown LA, the secret after hours place. It was cool. Took Saturday off, and then it was the big night.
Oh yeah!
The big day. Then it was the Rainbow Anniversary Party. And oh fuck was it fucking packed. There was a line around the corner, because they haven't had one in a while, and it's the big 5-0. And Eddie Trunk from fucking That Metal Show was hosting. Didn't get there in time to see this 3 opening acts, but I don't really care about the 3 opening acts. I care about the band I wanted to get there in time to see, because as you know, I've been promoting the shit out of them on both my channels. Notice that all the people on social media who are popular have absolutely no social skills, and they're just all posers, but yet we all have to bend to their will. In my last video, I talked about Sunny B2. He's cool, but he's actually bringing up the downfall of all these influencers, and it just shows you how everyone's a fucking sucker. I mean, this algorithm is set for lowest common denominator and making the posers achieve better status than the real motherfuckers.
Get on with it! Yes! Get on with it!
Then, of course, the next band was Crazy Town. And it was Orgy. And it was Stephen Piercy. Then after Stephen Piercy, it was the headliner that is Steel Panther. And the weirdest thing I gotta say about Steel Panther is that Mark Terrain from Bullet Boys jumped on stage and sang with them. That was fun. You know, mad shout out to fucking Mark Terrain for being a good sport too. You guys fucking rule. And then after that, drank more, did more stuff, and then headed back. All in all, successful night, badass night. I mean, there was lines around the corner all day. It would suck to be out in that heat. I also ran into RJ Blaze of Nexus Inferno and Mother Mercy, who are celebrating their 20th anniversary.
We walk around this big world like the living dead.
buddy Jen, the Antichrist. The Christ clique, heavily shipped to hell, who couldn't get in because the line was too long, but they did manage to hang out with her. Juan was there, he got a hotel at London. Farrah, Nick, obviously the royal family, the Magliaris were running the whole show.
Well done.
As well as Nikki Honeybunny, Jake Perry, Ann Hansen, and if I forget the rest of you, sorry about that.
And then,
Saturday, April 30th, where I was a guest on Green Jello Vision.
Where are you, Mojo? Oh, there you are. Oh my God, kids, what a shit fucking show tonight. Look at the cameraman. Come on, Mojo, get closer in here. You know, we're not the Three Stooges. We're not the Marx Brothers. But you're looking at these two guys next to me that helped rock and roll history for many years.
It was Richard Eastman and Bill Maher's birthday. I was a guest. It was fucking nuts. My friend Johnny from DMS, his new band, was there.
This song is called Dead as a Sad Snail, and it goes like this.
Dead as a sad snail. Get the door down. Drunk with fucking Dale. Get the door down.
Got lots of weed. It was fucking awesome. After that, we worked tended to the Universal Bar and Grill for Metal Mayhem. It was alright. Pornflix played. And that's basically that night. Then, I didn't resurface till Thursday, Cinco de Mayo, for Fozzy and Crash Karma.
I hear whispers in the dark.
It was an early show, so we missed it, and we made up for it and went at a place in Garden Grove called the Garden Amphitheater. Pretty cool spot, and dude, only $10 Jaegers. I'm like, hell yeah, so I got really trashed there. Then stopped at home, because, you know, it's local, you know, and went to watch Bill Maher, because if I don't watch Bill Maher on Fridays, bad luck happens to me.
When we talk about misinformation, we always focus on the producers, never the consumers. As if we're all helpless, dumb blondes ready to believe anything, like Donald Trump.
And then warp tended to Hollywood because I didn't want to risk missing an early show to see Wednesday 13. Celebrating his 20-year anniversary of his career. I personally like his solo stuff better than Murder Dolls, but whatever. It was badass. Then after that, we went to Drac House. But enough about that. So what did I do the next day, you ask? Well, I know that my last video, I totally roasted America Chavez and why I don't want to see this movie. But fuck it. After seeing massive reviews from everybody from the Phantom Menace to the Shills, the one that sold me on it was Angry Joe.
Before this one came out, I was a lot of my friends. I was following people on Twitter. You're either gonna love it or you're gonna hate it, is what people were saying. That's well, okay, well, I loved it.
Because gave it a 9 out of 10, and that guy is not a shill at all. I mean, Paramount Plus has blocked or taken down many of his videos for giving his honest criticism on Halo and Picard. So yeah, I respect what you have to say, Angry Joe, and
face it, our way is the way. I mean, we scare people into not being assholes.
Our way is not our way.
Yeah, tell that to the judge, all right?
So, me and Layla went to go see Doctor Strange 2, aka Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness.
In short, watching this movie is a bit like watching a top-flight racing team trying to win a Grand Prix with a Ford Escort. Everyone's trying their hardest to make it work, but all the talent and creative flair in the world just can't compensate for a shitty story.
I agree. Half the movie feels like it's Sam Raimi being Sam Raimi doing magic and borrowing a lot of stuff from stuff he's made, like very Evil Dead stuff. And the other half feels done by committee via non-binary hoppopotamus with clipboards.
Oh, snap.
You just talked. I mean, they put in America Chavez before they put in Submariner or X-Men or Fantastic Four. They make a cameo, then they kill him off.
But why? Why would you do that? Why would you do any of that?
And the thing I find really fucked up, and yeah, Nerdrotic pointed out the best in their discussion.
I have a theory. Kevin Feige's a producer, been a producer all his life, not very creative dude. Doesn't write, doesn't direct. Yep. It probably sticks in his craw a little bit. So he wants to be a creative super bad. Because you know what? Successful people want to be what they can't be. You know, Bob Iger's the same way. Bob Iger was given notes in the fucking Mandalorian. This guy's a weatherman. What the fuck are you giving notes on the Mandalorian for? So I have a feeling, it's gone to his head.
And of course, who do they kill first? All the men.
Yes.
And then the women last longer, and their deaths are cooler deaths because, you know, they're not as stupid as the guys.
I'm sorry, but Black Bolt went out like a bitch. Mr. Fantastic went out like a bitch. But Captain Carter, who's just basically Captain America, has a drawn-out fight.
What the fuck?
I'm sorry, dude. She'd go out quicker than fucking the other two, because they actually have powers. She's just a little bit better than people.
If you can kill people with a single look, then why would you ever bother doing anything else?
And that's another thing about this show. Half of it feels like Disney's Plus, and the other half feels like Sam Raimi. And like I said, I have a love-hate with this movie. My chick loved it, you know what I mean? Layla loved it because, well, she's, if you didn't know that, she's like 8th generation Bruja, and she's just
magic. Motherfucker.
She totally relates to Wanda. And that's another thing I had a problem with this movie, too.
There's a real through line in this movie that Strange's selfish pursuit of power and personal gratification has fucked things up in basically every other universe. And there's this weird attempt to mirror this against Wanda's own pursuit of personal happiness.
You're an amazing creature, Spider-Man. You and I are not so different.
The only problem is that they absolutely fucking are. They're driven by completely different objectives, and one's willing to kill anyone who gets in their way, while the other will do everything possible to save innocent lives. Fuck off, film. They're absolutely not the same. Stop trying to demonize the hero and drum up fake sympathy for the villain.
One part, I'm rooting for Doctor Strange, obviously. The part when she kills the Illuminati members, I really was totally rooting for Wanda. Just because I hate the concept of Captain Carter. And now you have Maria Rambeau as fucking Captain Marvel, and well, fuck Captain Marvel. Because you want Twitter to like you, and you'd hire these self-entitled fucking cunts. I mean, you heard what I said about Moon Knight in the last one.
What if I told you Disney Marvel did it again? Another bait and switch. Our hero in the Moon Knight show not only got her own origin story, but she got her own hero moment as she saved our titular character Moon Knight twice in his own finale.
Moon Knight's great and all, the character. The show sucks because you focus on the beta personality instead of the alpha personality, because you can't really have your male protagonist be badass. You gotta have him be saved by the woman. And that's basically what happens in this movie too. Like, America Chavez gets the killing blow to Wanda, and she had it all along, just like Captain Marvel. But all in all, I give it a 6 out of 10. It's not horrible, like what the Phantom Menace say, because the Phantom Menace are just basically Fox News for but it's not awesome like the fucking shills say, because they're fucking shills. I mean, you heard what I said about those fake rival Screen Crush and heavy spoilers.
If I gave a fuck about what shills had to say, I'd watch Screen Crush and heavy spoilers. That's probably spoilers. After all, they took every turd shit their asses, bitches.
But enough about that. The following Thursday, I finally got my glitter, because can't go anywhere without my glitter, and went to the whiskey for Gene Loves Jezebel. Funny thing about Gene Loves Jezebel is that I've heard horror stories about this band.
But why?
Because if you know anything about Gene Loves Jezebel, they're an 80s glam goth band, very cult love album, and it was run by two twin brothers, right? And they had a major falling out, similar to a lot of British bands, and they both own the rights to the name. So if you went to go see Gene Loves Jezebel, you don't know which version you're gonna see, the good one or the shitty one. Really? I never knew, don't care. Whatever.
I remember in like 2000, 2001, I hung out with these weirdos I knew from Rocky Horror Picture Show. Yeah, I know, I'm lame. And there was me, Carnage, and Morbius were 21, so we went to Clubber Pence, a goth night at a strip club to see a band. While our friend Shadow, who wasn't 21, we dropped him off at the fucking shack in Anaheim. Yeah, this is the Orange County area. And he just told me how horrible, because he saw the shitty version.
Shut up and get to the point!
The version I saw, they were alright, which made me think,
Did I see the shitty one or the good one?
still don't know if I saw the good one or the shitty one. But Gene Loves Jezebel was okay. He did some stand-up in between songs. Kind of reminded me a little bit of G-Tom Mac. But without a one-hit wonder, he's milking. It was alright.
Listen, my Bonnie and Clyde days are over.
The next night was very eventful, as it was Bang Tango at the fucking Whiskey, and of course, Metal Mayhem Friday at the Rainbow. I got there around like 11ish. Ran into a few friends, Dave and Brooke, right away. They got me a drink. You guys rock. Headlining the show was Villain Royale. Britney's Rage canceled, so in place of them was Pistol Beauty. That was fun. Dancers were hot. I sprayed some girls with spray glitter, and obviously went to Bang Tango, and they fucking rocked. So hats off to that. After all that, we all jumped in the car and went to a different after party. Some crazy, like, all-night rave in the middle of ghetto and gang. It was fucking badass. Shout out to Madison Orange. You fucking rock. Thanks for getting us in.
Get on with it. Yes, get on with it.
The next day, oh shit, did I have a fucking adventure and a half of that. And this is why I'm so fucking hungover.
That thing this afternoon, I'm so angry. It was chaos, fucking chaos.
What are you talking about, huh? I mean, today was great. Chaos is great. Chaos is what killed the dinosaurs, darling.
I went with Uncle Richard, as in Richard Eastman, marijuana advocate icon. I call him Uncle because he's like my uncle. And Bill Manspeaker couldn't go with him to this particular event because he was busy doing a show. So me and Predapool went in his place.
What was it, you ask?
I went to the Emerald Cup, hosted by Woody Harrelson.
What's the Emerald Cup, you ask? It's a fucking Weed Awards.
Yeah, I got in through media via Uncle Richard, and we went to the Weed Awards, also known as the Emerald Cup.
Sponsored by State Magazine or Scut Magazine, whatever. It's a weed magazine.
I'm still fucking high from it. They also had open bar, and most of the time, I didn't even watch the award show. I just hung out on the roof and smoked a bunch of weed and drank a bunch of free booze, got a bunch of free stuff, and nerded out with Uncle Richard. It's probably the longest I've ever hung out with him, which is good because I'm starting a magazine with him.
Yes, that's right. We're starting a magazine with Uncle Richard and Green Jello, coming soon to a random place near you.
So it was cool. It was awesome. Saw a lot of rich people. Tickets were $1,000 a piece, so I felt really special. A lot of millionaires and shit there, weed dispensary types for their awards. Then after that, because I realized that like after the award show, play ended at 3, but everybody was fighting over the rooftop to get to the rooftop party, and the bathroom's on the bottom floor. So me and Predapool decided to just go to the Rainbow, and it's pretty bad when I'm going to the Rainbow to sober up. Then after that, I watched this new show on Netflix called the Peaties Birthday. It's the new Mike Myers project. It's funny. It's an easy watch. I mean, each episode's less than a half hour, and it's only 6 episodes, so it's only like less than 3 hours of your time to watch. Some of it aged, some of it hasn't. My problem I have is you see Mike Myers as junk, and I don't want to see Mike Myers as junk. It's kind of like my problem I have with the movie Postal. I don't want to see Dave Foley's junk. I mean, it doesn't even have boobies in it. It just has dick, you know? But that's Netflix. That's also why they're losing money, because they hire these non-binary hoppopotami with clipboards, and it's all the mandatory requirements to be on Netflix. But all in all, not bad. I give that probably a 5 out of 10. You know, it's not perfect. It's okay. It's an easy watch. There's some parts I find funny. It's all the characters Mike Myers plays are pretty cool. No, and then Wednesday for the Choir Boys at the Whiskey. They were cool. They didn't play the song from Peacemaker or anything. I don't know you anymore. Hey, I gotta thank you for tonight. Of course, I didn't stay for the whole set because I was getting kind of bored. It was kind of dead. The next day was Layla's day before her day off, so we went to the Rainbow. She hung out with Vera. I did my thing. Then the next day, oh my God, talk about a fucking take charge day. I had to meet with Uncle Richard to discuss our new magazine we're working on called the East Speaker Green Gazette. And oh God, the traffic was a bitch. I mean, you know how it is when like the, you know, when there's construction on the freeway and there's like the cops driving over the lanes and shit. Yeah, it was one of those situations. So getting there was a mission. We finally got there. I was planning on meeting with Richard, have Predapool talk to Richard about the mag while I went to the Whiskey for Circus of Power. Of course, I missed that, and I had to do the meeting instead. I heard Circus of Power was bomb, and I obviously know Mordecai's was bomb, so...
Whatever.
Before I continue, let's bring on today's sponsor.
Sunday! September 24th at the Rainbow Bar and Grill. It's the Backyard Bash with Lita Ford, John 5. Wednesday 13th, the Iron Maidens and Enuff Z Nuff. Hosted by Slim Fender himself, Danny of Bastard Pussycat. It's free admission with 2-drink minimum, sponsored by Red Bull and Jack Daniel.
And back in 2017, in Lost Anarchy magazine, Deadliest Warriors match.
Oh yeah!
Yes, I took the name from Spike.
Go fuck yourself.
And one particular issue I did Mickey and Mallory Knox versus the Devil's Rejects. And this was before 3 from Hell came out. Obviously, the Devil's Rejects won because Layla bought the cover and, well, money talks. My money's still on Mickey and Mallory because they escaped prison. Unless we're going by the original ending where the guardian angel kills them. But if we're going by theatrical, they started a prison riot. He had influence. And they only got caught because they were on peyote.
Bad!
So I realized that Natural Born Killers and The Devil's Rejects are the same fucking movie.
I mean, come on. I see what he did there. He took Texas Chainsaw Massacre and shot it like Natural Born Killers. And then he did Devil's Rejects by taking the plot of Natural Born Killers and shot it like Texas Chainsaw Massacre.
Because this movie does feel like a really, really long music video.
Come on!
3 from Hell shouldn't exist, because how the fuck can you survive death by cop? The stakes aren't really that high, but Foxy's the shit.
I highly recommend doing the Natural Born Killers and Devil's Rejects comparison. Watch them both movies side by side.
Kind of similar to the Tony Scott test.
Shut up and get to the point!
I feel bad that in this new issue of Lost Anarchy, I'm doing Judge Dredd versus Tank Girl.
But why?
Because now I really want to do Scagnetti versus Sheriff Wydell.
I honestly think that Scagnetti would totally take Wydell, just because Scagnetti is a serial killer hunting other serial killers. You know what I mean? He's trying to think like the people he's hunting.
Get on with it. Yes, get on with it.
All right, I'll get on with it. The following Thursday, I was supposed to meet up with Richard Eastman and our investor for our mag.
We won't name his name because, well, he likes to stay off the grid. Yes, we're sponsored by and endorsed by secret people.
Def Leppard played the fucking whiskey.
This is the first time we've ever played here.
Well, I didn't get there for the show, obviously, because I don't like to show up early, because you know it was an early show. Anytime there's a mainstream event, as you know, the last episode when we talked about Fozzy, it was an early show. I got there at 11, so I just got business done. But it was still packed the whole night, man. There was sexy bitches everywhere. I was a dumbass that brought Sam to the beach.
Whatever.
The next day, I stayed in and watched the 2-episode premiere of Kenobi on Disney+.
I've made a huge mistake.
Also premiering that day was season 4 of Stranger Things. Oh my fucking god, it's awesome. And that's basically it.
The next day.
HTH played Supply and Demand in Long Beach for their benefit of Reyes of Animos. And I got to fucking announce HTH. It was awesome. Mingled a lot of people. Seiko, shout out. And after that was Animos. And both me and Gerardo from HTH announced the band. Because, well, I'm me, but more importantly, G's the king, so we had to do that shit. Cuervo, I barely even recognized him. Because, yeah. And after that, we went home to chill for a bit, because it was an early day show. After that, we went to the Universal Bar and Grill for Metal Mayhem Saturday. And we got there just in time for Rude and Reckless.
Now dancing in the pale moonlight. Come on, baby, it's Devil's Night. Yeah!
They were fucking awesome. In fact, I honestly think they can give the Darbies a run for their money. The Rainbow, and upstairs, Hyrax was playing. Yes, fucking Hyrax.
Million rising, bow to your knees. Armageddon, the apocalypse. Now it has.
Fucking crazy. Hyrax is badass. Caton, you rule.
Fuck yeah!
Then the following weekend was the beginning of the month of June, aka Gemini season, aka Pride Month. And you've heard all my videos talking shit on Pride Month.
I'm just saying that when things change this much, this fast, people are allowed to ask, what's up with that? All the babies are in the wrong bodies? Was there a mix-up at the plant, like with Captain Crunch's Oops All Berries?
Preach on, Brother Bill.
Preach on.
This was the kickoff in West Hollywood. And it was also fucking NAMM. Yes, NAMM in fucking June. If you ever heard my conspiracy theory, I think that basically the people of West Hollywood and NAMM collaborated together to get the rockers off the strip one weekend so the alphabet people can take over.
Get on with it.
I didn't do any of that. I just dropped off Predapool to NAMM because it was my chick's birthday weekend. And if you haven't noticed, I've been kind of a dick to her this whole year and had to do something special for her. So what did we do? Well, we went to Bar Sinister for her birthday with her and all her coworker pals. But before that, we went to Scum and Billy Bar. Me and Layla had a blue milk and a green milk as one of their drinks. I've been there before. There's a lot of people this time. And also my ladies' coworker friends. Learned a valuable lesson when it comes to going to Hollywood. Don't leave too late or parking will be expensive and traffic will suck. But we hopped a few bars there and then they wanted to check out where we mainly hang out. So we took me to the Rainbow. Ran a few buddies there. It was cool. And also that weekend, as you know, both The Boys and the Orville premiered. You heard what I said about the Orville. It's giving Obi-Wan Kenobi a run for its money because everything sucks.
Goodbye.
Babe, wait. Babe, wait. Babe, wait. Babe!
Following weekend, it was just hectic, man. It was skin of our teeth crazy because I had to release the new issue of Lost Anarchy magazine. So had to do that and have it out on the 10th for Metal Mayhem Friday with Nightmare and HCH. And also fucking Bullet Boys were playing that night too. I didn't get to see Bullet Boys. And yeah, first of all, let's start off how the day started. So I wake up, had to go to Burbank to get the covers. Had to go to Gardena to get the insides, assemble them all day, and then had to warp 10 it to the strip so I could announce HCH at the Rainbow. And here's the clip here. Ain't I fucking awesome? While there, I met up with the usual characters, and of course, Richard Eastman, because he needs some mags, because this issue is promoting our new mag coming out called the Eastman Speakers Green Gazette. And yeah, then we went to After Hours in some crazy spot. It was fucking awesome. Had an open bar. I got trash, hung out with the crew, and was so hungover from the night before that I took Saturday off, and the next day I had like a little get-together at my house. The Khhryst Clique was there, HCH was there, lots of awesome food. Me and Layla were celebrating both our birthdays because her birthday's on the 3rd and mine's on the 16th. Then I didn't resurface until Wednesday. No Wednesday! My actual birthday, where I saw the Meteors at the Whiskey. Got there early enough and everybody kind of gave me the red carpet treatment. It was fucking awesome. I always wanted to see the Meteors. The reason why I know about the Meteors is every time I would go to Black Hole Records to get CDs back in the day. Yes, those things. Favorite band of all time is the Cramps, and I would always look in the Psychobilly section. And I noticed that the other band that have just as many albums as the Cramps was the Meteors. And I'm all, okay, cool. Never really heard them. Name sounds kind of cool. Whatever. Then I went to the Rainbow, did my usual thing, blah, blah, blah. And that was my birthday weekend to a T. But I did watch some good television. No, not Obi-Wan. Who cares? The Orville, on the other hand, oh my fucking god. Talk about how to write a Star Trek episode right and being subtle about it.
Well, duh.
And the next day, I was planning on staying and watching all my shows, but I get a call from Uncle Richard. He told me the bad news is that we're postponing our premiere issue of the Eastman Speaker Green Gazette. But the good news is that we have to, you're gonna love this, go to a screening of the new Beavis and Butthead movie, Beavis and Butthead Do the Universe, at the Montalban Theater, and it's a fucking 420 event. Fuck yeah! So I went there, mingled, made a lot of connections, passed out a few mags, and watched the new Beavis and Butthead movie. By the way, this is my second time watching it because my chick pissed me off. So I have real prepared review on this one. And I agree with Angry Jill.
I actually liked it better than Beavis and Butthead Do America.
My favorite part in there is when they go to gender studies.
Step aside, please. We have white privilege.
Oh yeah, the other thing that's cool about it, it explains why they haven't aged since 1998. And they even show what they look like if they did age. Then after watching the premiere, go to the Rainbow, drink a bit. It was cool. Then the next day I stayed in, had to apologize to Layla for ditching her. So I went to Four Horsemen Pizza in Long Beach. That place is fucking awesome. They do an art gallery called Day. I call it Deo. I told them that they need to add 2 O's to their acronym because it looks like Deo. And I highly recommend going to Fourth Horseman. The pizza's awesome and the atmosphere's great. The only thing I don't like about it is everything's all like ordered by QR code, so you have no interaction with the staff or anything. Then after that I kicked it with HCH. It's cool mingling, catching up with them. Then I got home and watched technically the mid-season finale of Real Time with Bill Maher. His new rule was great.
You see, in the American political system, the people are represented by 2 separate yet equally stupid groups. The Republicans who normalize constitutional crimes and the Democrats who pit identity groups against each other. These are their stories.
And what I thought was really great is that it's 2 panelists, a gay and a lesbian, and they talk about the corporatization of Pride Month and how they become everything they hate.
We like to talk about how, us liberals, we like to talk about how we're the party of science. Well, we actually have lots of data on this. And the science tells us, as Andrew has talked about a lot, many children who present with gender dysphoria from a young age desist. They grow out of it, and they often end up being like us.
And I also watched Umbrella Academy.
Doesn't this cafeteria have a no fags allowed rule?
Well, they seem to have an open door policy for assholes, though, don't they?
I went to the LBC for Hellbishop to Hell at some like weird lodge underground party in between like an industrial complex and like the ghetto.
And they were filming Road Dogs TV.
Also while there, I gave Vicky her birthday present.
Yeah, it's also her birthday. It was fucking awesome.
Stayed for one song, then warp tended to Universal Bar and Grill for Metal Mayhem Saturday. Got there just in time for Stereo Love, Judd Steele's band with his kids. They were okay. Hung out with the usual valet trash.
They're nice people, but they were valet trash.
Then I warped to the Rainbow and got myself a drink, mingled for a bit. Then we went to the after hours. Not really much I can talk about it on here due to the fact that it was kind of a underground party located in a place I'm not allowed to say. Our centerfold girl Scarlett bartending. I got some cool free arm socks that someone gave me and I gave to her because I look funny wearing arm socks. There was hot go-go dancers, all that shit. It also had an open bar so you could tell how trashed I was. And the only problem was one bathroom, but whatever. Hot chicks everywhere. I mean, look at that. Alice Cooper really knows how to play. Alice Cooper knows how to get the bitches, doesn't he?
Get on with it.
Then I went to this other after hours at some guy's house.
Then we went to another after party.
Long story short, I got home around like, I don't know, noon.
44 years old and act like a 21-year-old, dude.
Yeah, I need to grow the fuck up. I'm not gonna go out for a bit, so there you go on this one.
Get on with it.
Yes, get on with it!
Friday, July 1st, where I was not planning on going out, but, well, shit happens, and it was my homegirl Jenny's birthday countdown. Her birthday's on the 4th of July, but obviously 4th of July I couldn't really do
whatever.
Then I took a few days off and didn't return till Wednesday on the 6th for Micromania Midget Wrestling.
Oh, yeah!
It was sold out. Nobody who was with me can get in, but I got in because, well, I'm expected to be there.
But why?
Because the host, Bo, hit me up prior to that. Said,
You gotta go, man. You gotta go.
all right, fine. I'll go.
Fuck yeah!
So I went, watched, got a few things on Instagram and TikTok. It was fucking hilarious, man. They had a fucking Johnny Depp versus Amber Heard midget fight.
She wiped shit on his face. What the fuck?
After that, I went to the Rainbow to meet up with Uncle Richard, discuss more stuff about the Green Gazette. And of course, my buddy Jenny was there, still partying the whole week, because, you know,
Bullshit. 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 Bullshit.
The next day was a busy day. I was supposed to go to the Rainbow between 7 and 9 for Dio's 80th birthday, hosted by Eddie Trunk, but couldn't make it because somebody had to go to Knott's Berry Farm.
I mean, come on!
Couldn't even get one of my writers to cover for it.
What the fuck?
Actually, I do have a writer covering it. I got Ren, one of the bouncers there. It'll be in the new issue of Lost Anarchy, so check that out soon.
Get on with it.
So what I did instead was, since, you know, needed to do something, I went to Que Sera for Heavily Trip to Hell, where I had to announce them as always. It was cool. Me and Layla went, actually, not just, not me and Predapool. And it was fun, got to mingle, announce a band. My problem with that place is it's a cash-only bar.
Come on.
2022, and
Really?
you're still only doing cash only.
What the fuck is this?
Funny though, I ran into people who were actually at that midget wrestling event, so that was fun. So after I got home from Que Sera, we watched the season finale of The Boys, and wow. Then the next day was a very busy day. Got to pick up the poster because Richard Eastman needs it for trying to find ads for the first official issue of Green Gazette. I'll give you more details about that later. And then we had to warp tenant to Hollywood because I had to meet up with HTH so they can meet up with Jake to get a gig at the Whiskey.
It's a business opportunity.
Yes, they're finally back at the Whiskey in August, dude. August 21st with 96 bitter beings. Which is actually the CKY, so that's gonna be fucking epic. But also, yeah, while there, it was Metal Mayhem at the Rainbow, and a few bands played there. It's pretty cool. I was playing tour guide to HTH because they haven't really done the strip in a while, and it's very rare that they actually go to the strip when they're not playing. So showed them around, watched a few bands at Metal Mayhem. Then we went to the Whiskey from Agent Orange. It was awesome as always. Then after that, you know, met up with Uncle Richard, brought him the poster, mingled a little bit. Then we went to the after party for Predapool and Jenny's birthday. Yeah, it's the end of her birthday, so I'm hungover.
No ending!
Predapool and his lady dragged me to go to Comic-Con with them because they needed my badges. I got trashed after I got my badge because, well, if I'm not working, I'm gonna get trashed. The cool thing that happened though is I went to the 2018 booth and said happy anniversary to them. Gave them a copy of my mag because, you know, as you know, on the cover our band, we got Judge Dredd versus Tank Girl. Gave me a discount on one of the Judge Dredd case files. Thank you guys, you fucking rock. And the next day was, well, I wasn't going to Comic-Con. I had to get things done. Variant covers, so me and Layla warp-tended to Hollywood early to make sure Predapool would wake up to take the car, and got a lot of work done. First stop, Hollywood Forever Cemetery, where we went to Tracy Michaels and Edwin Borsheim's mausoleums. After that, we went to Trado's Tacos, and well, it was tasty, awesome, and expensive. But according to what Layla says, they actually made a margarita that was actually good in California, so that's a good thing. Too bad the fucking food was $80. Yeah. Then after that, we went to Jameson's to meet up with Carol, who went to Burbank for us to pick up the covers and cards. While there, also ran into Uncle Richard. Then we had to warp tenant back to the office so we can get some mags done. Then we went back to the strip. Yeah, I know, back and forth to Hollywood and back, right?
But why?
See, 45 Grave and Ravensmoreland. We got there in time for Ravensmoreland. It was fucking awesome. Then it was 45 Grave. While there, ran into Captain Anarchy and my paparazzi Paparizzi. And then next day, I went to Comic-Con. And while there, went to the Trauma panel. Then after that, I ended up just going to Tivoli, because that's my bar when I go to Comic-Con. And then went home. No ending! Thursday, July 28th, where I went to the Rainbow, and that's basically it.
But why?
Because a lot of the shows have been early shows, and drank myself stupid, did too much drugs, and did it the next day on Friday.
Whatever.
The Malls was playing the whiskey.
Sing a song of 7 minutes, thinking that you haven't seen it. 2 degrees on sucking and you chew them up and spit it out.
But of course, showed up too late, missed the band. Then the following Saturday, the next day, was Metal Mayhem Saturday at the Universal Bar and Grill. Of course, got there late and hung out with a band called Module.
I know, right? How can you pronounce that?
Cloudy in the air, open mind, hypnotized, bump the jam to drink some wine, day and night, loud in mind, sinking deep into rhyme, passing thoughts through a song, tell me what it is you saw.
Then went to the Rainbow to gather more fucking people to go to the after hours at some douchebags fucking spot. Got home at like fucking noon, slept all day, and didn't resurface until the following Tuesday, where me and Layla decided to do our own thing. Fuck yeah! Go to Fourth Horseman Pizza for their Release the Bats DJ set with Dave Bats. But we wanted to beat traffic because it was from 6 to 9, and you know how bad traffic gets. So we stopped over at Belmont Heights Tattoo to say what's up to G, hung out for a bit, got a little fucking faded. Then went to the pizza place, ran into Dave Bats and his lady Jen. It was fucking awesome. I recommend it. It's the first Tuesday of every month at the Fourth Horseman Pizza in Long Beach.
Everybody got that? I mean, seriously, Release the Bats at the Fourth Horseman Pizzeria is literally a true goth event at a pizza place. Yet, Bar Sinister still feels more like Chuck E. Cheese. Just like
Sardana Cat. I mean, come on! You went to film school. Yeah. You have a following on YouTube because you're lame. In fact, this whole entire website helps out the posers so the real fuckers get overshadowed.
What the fuck? Wow, that rant went nowhere. Anything else happen, Mojo?
Actually, the following Saturday, me and Predapool went to Belmont Heights Tattoo Grand Opening, and it was cool. Got a little high, got a little drunk. Predapool apparently got too drunk, so I had to drive back to Orange County for a bit. Then we went to the Rainbow, and then go to the stupid after hours. Fucker still tries to charge me, even though I'm making his fucking invites.
Go fuck yourself.
Then the following Wednesday, we went to Hotel Ziggy's for Jamie Hode's Jam Night. The place is pretty fucking cool. I mean, I like the aesthetic of it. Too bad the jam sucked. Oh God, it felt like a really bad karaoke night. Like, the band was good, but the singers, oh my God, I wanted to throw tomatoes at them. It was torture. So after that, we went to the Rainbow. It was desolate because, well, Test Human played the whiskey, but of course we missed it because we had to go to the stupid jam night. And went to the Rainbow. It was desolate, so I got a drink, didn't finish it. Then we went to Saddle Ranch. I haven't been to Saddle Ranch since in like 11 years. And I would only go because my friend Justin, my designated yuppie, was with me. I didn't want to go dressed in my full Mojo gear at a most basic bitch bar. I felt like I was in San Diego because, well, been to San Diego and downtown San Diego. They really like to crack down on smoking where you can't drink and smoke, which is I like to call peanut butter and jelly.
What the fuck?
So I was getting bored and irritated, so I convinced everybody to go to Bordner's for Wednesday's party, aka Mini-Sin. And it made me appreciate Mini-Sin a lot more because of how the whole lame it felt. Ran into Jeffrey Dammit, that was cool. And I even ran into a few friends who bought me drinks. So all in all, I felt like, you ever see the movie Heathers? Remember when Veronica had to go on a double date with Heather number 2 with the 2 dumb jocks who wanted to go cow tipping? Yeah, that's how I fucking felt. Or went to that frat house with Heather number 1 and it was a bunch of rapey ass fucking frat boys.
Gee, Blake, I had a really nice...
See the speeches from Malcolm X. I just want to get laid.
Friday, August 19th, where it was Layla's day off for 3 days straight. So we went to the Rainbow, did the usual shit, partied at our friend's house later on, got home around, I don't know, 7 a.m. Then the next day, it was our friend Young Pops' going away party. He's moving to New Mexico and then Florida. Hung out with Big Jeff. And then we're planning on going to the bar Sinister for our anniversary party, but
It is what it is.
So we ended up going to the Rainbow as always. Tried to go to the after hours, but apparently the douchebag who runs it, because you heard in the last episode, fucker still charges me after I do all their shit.
Point is, ladies and gentlemen, that greed, for lack of a better word, is good.
Canceled it last minute, so we just hung out in the parking lot for a few hours.
I've made a huge mistake.
Then the next day was the big night. HCH opening for 96 Bitter Beans. And, well, I got there in time to see the band, but not in time to announce the band, which is a big fuck you to myself because I look bad. But we ended up at the Rainbow and smoked ourselves retarded and didn't resurface until the following Friday for Faster Pussycat at the Whiskey.
This is our home turf. Come on, make some fucking noise. We've been gone for almost... What up, Whiskey?
Got there in time to see Faster Pussycat, but Layla didn't want to go inside because it was too packed, so she went to the Rainbow, hung out in the corner, and I went to the Whiskey, saw the band. It was cool. Then we went to a party at our friend's house. Layla didn't want to go. She took a lift back home, and I partied till the sun came up. Then the next day, we went to Universal Bar and Grill for Metal Mayhem Saturday. Headlining was...
I was deeply troubled by his message.
Also ran into Ivan from Hollywood Apocalypse.
And he gave me a new life.
California's burning like my dreams on the boulevard.
He's gonna be on the cover of the new issue of Lost Anarchy. Check that out. And then after that, we went to the Rainbow. And also while going on, Motley Crue played somewhere by the Forum. And it was packed all over the strip because, you know, Motley Crue. Then we went to the after hours. I was kind of bummed.
No, and then.
So the following Friday, I was supposed to go to the Dickies at the Whiskey. But Predapool wanted
Some
to be a bitch
fucking
and stay
people.
in. So I stayed in because I'm a bitch and watched Split Second starring Rutger Hauer.
The next day.
Saturday, went to the Rainbow. It was dead, no daddy out to prepare themselves for the big thing on Sunday! Backyard Bash. And of course, I went to the stupid after hours, blah, blah, blah. Fuck you, Moody. I was planning on pulling an all-nighter, so I'll be ready for the Backyard Bash, but whatever. And
Anything less
home
would be
because Predapool
uncivil.
wanted to sleep in his bed. Then the next day was the Backyard Bash. Fuck yeah! I got there in time for the Iron Maidens. Didn't watch them. I hung out backstage to give Danny his shot of Jaeger, so I did that. And then mingled a little bit. My homegirl Constance had got the Airbnb for the weekend, so hung out there most of the night.
Well, duh.
I also got to watch Wednesday 13, the only band I actually gave a shit about watching.
But why?
Because Wednesday 13 is fun. I didn't get to see the whole set of him last time he played, and he ended with 2 out of the 3 favorite songs he's ever done. Bad Things. Of course, the very last song they did, Murder Dolls, because, you know, Wednesday 13 was Murder Dolls with. My favorite song he's ever done, I use in a lot of my shit, you know, Vote Death for President, with that really awesome line.
Hooray for homicide. My left wing's baked and my right wing's fried.
And then after that was John 5 and Lita Ford. Not the biggest fan of John 5 because it's just guitar masturbation. It gives me NAMM flashbacks.
Some fucking
North American
people.
Music Merchants, not Vietnam.
Snap.
Lita Ford was fun, but, you know, I'm in my 40s, not my 50s or 60s. I'm not nostalgic of that shit. That's just basically what my babysitters would look like. But it was fun. Then after that, I went to the Whiskey for some local free show, and some decent band was playing. Don't remember that. Got super trash, and then went to some...
What the fuck are you talking about?
Friday, September 9th for Metal Mayhem Friday at the Rainbow Bar and Grill. One of the bands was the Gasleys. And it was dead. Reason being is because it was,
oh god, you laugh.
Louisiana weather. Hot as balls and raining.
And California can't handle rain. Well done!
On Thursday was Layla's day off, and she wanted to go to Belmont Heights Tattoo to get her nipples pierced. And while there, bonding with some people, and while to kill time, I went to get cigarettes across the street, and noticed that, you know how there's a law in California that banned menthols, right? But only in Long Beach.
What the fuck?
Yeah, they didn't ban them in like Orange County or Hollywood. No, they banned them in low-income areas, aka predominantly black. I think it's a racial thing. But all in all, cool to see G and them. And then stayed in. I would have went to go see OTEP, but I don't give two shits about OTEP.
But why? Wow, let it be in death metal.
Who cares? The next day was docking at the Whiskey, and it was packed. Right when I got there, they played my favorite song. Right there, ran into Lisa Burke. Excellent! We talked shop about the next issue of Lost Anarchy magazine, but seriously, last year was better because you had George Lynch return with you, which was pretty impressive, and he actually held the whole show last year. This year, since you didn't have George Lynch, you literally sound like you ran a mile, and you're out of breath. Hell, don't get me wrong, I'm out of shape and old too, but oh god. I get it, you're gonna do this till you die, but you need to find that devil that the Rolling Stones sold their soul to.
Listen, my Bonnie and Clyde days are over.
And then after that, went to the Rainbow. Then the next night was Steven Adler, also at the Whiskey, and that was even more packed. But of course, I missed this show because I had to meet up with Uncle Richard. He wanted to discuss the Green Gazette. Then after that, we went to his after hours called the Cat House. Don't want to tell you much about it. It was cool, but whatever.
Move it! No, and then. You're really starting to piss me off, lady.
Thursday, September 22nd. I stayed in, actually, and I went to go see Clerks 3. Somebody get over it.
That's how we did it in the 90s, son.
Doesn't make up for what Kevin Smith did to He-Man.
My apologies for keeping you in the dark, my dear.
No. Doesn't make up for his last two Jack Session movies. Yes. It is a good final conclusion and, ending to the View Askew universe. And Layla said it best, why would I want to watch a guy jerk off? And that's basically what it was. This one did not feel like that at all. Like, even Veronica returns. And it is sad for multiple reasons. Not only do they kill off Rosario Dawson's character, they kill Dante at the end.
I was this close to happily ever after, and then one drunk driver later, my movie's over.
There's no way in hell they're going to be a Clerks 4. Kevin Smith should learn from Tarantino and make this be his final movie and just stick to doing his podcast and leave He-Man alone. All in all, it was a good movie. Yeah, either I said it. I spoiled it for you. All right, then the next day, I went to the Whiskey for Pretty Boy Floyd. Got there a little late, but I got there in time for... Then the next day, I went to Universal Bar and Grill for Metal Mayhem Saturday with Michelangelo Battio. Which I don't care. The highlight of that night was running into my old buddy, Metal Sanaz. We were talking about our cat. After that, went to the Rainbow, ran into Lisa, and then went to the after hours and...
And then, I'm gonna come in there, and I'm gonna put my foot in your ass!
Tuesday, October 11th, where me and Layla went to go see, along with their co-workers, Terrifier 2.
And if you're not familiar with Terrifier,
it's about Art the Clown. Very different slasher. And it's technically my fault that they all wanted to go see this movie because one of Layla's co-workers' birthdays, they wanted to watch a horror movie, so I showed them Tubi, and they chose that movie. We watched it, and while there we realized that the new Terrifier just came out.
You think think that guy's still out there?
More brutal murders, and
Had some elements of good versus evil in it.
I'd give that movie like maybe a 8.5 out of 10. I mean, it's your typical horror movie. It was crowdfunded, and the director also did the special effects, so not worth watching for 2.5 hours though, but still not bad. Layla's co-workers, they were all freaked out because they're normal people. Me and Layla were evil fucks, so we would never have that situation with Terrifier, because what I've noticed, all the people get killed by Art the Clown, they're all assholes, or he would just go there and just taunt them and mess with them, and then as soon as they get mad, that's when he goes to brutalize them. Me, he would never taunt me.
But why?
Because I hate protagonists who are just completely basic. Then on Thursday, October 13th, where the new issue of Lost Anarchy magazine came out, and well, it was me and Layla this time, me and Predapool. Went there, and it was Layla's first day out in like months, and ran into some buddies, Freddie McBean, as well as Richard Eastman.
Hell yeah, be buddies about shit.
A man with no motive is a man no one suspects.
That's basically it. Everybody liked the new magazine, blah, 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 dropped it off, got home at a decent time, and then the next day was the main event at the Whiskey for Vane. Yeah! Opening the show was Mangusta. Pretty fun, pretty neat. Then after that, ran up the hill to go to the Rainbow for Metal Mayhem Friday. And got to announce Heavily Trip to Hell, which is their big kickoff before going to Mexico City. That's all I gotta say on that one. There's nothing more badass than that. Then after that, we all went to the Cat House, the after hours spot in South Central LA.
If you say and then again!
Saturday the 22nd for HTH playing some skate park with naked burlesque girls outdoor festival thing. But it was fucking raining, so I stayed in during the day anyway.
Why'd they cancel?
Because it's raining and they have to play outside.
Well, duh!
I wasn't planning on going out, but since Andre's the homie, had to go there for that. Wish him happy birthday. Then went to the Rainbow, shot the shit, usual blah blah, yakety blah blah. Then stayed in for a couple days.
But why?
Because it was the countdown to Halloween weekend, as well as the season finale of House of the Dragon.
And boy, what a finale.
Fuck yeah! I'm not gonna go into complete fucking detail about it, because everybody else has been talking about it all over this fucking shitty website. So I'll just say that it kicked the Rings of Power's ass.
The extreme always seems to make an impression.
Good thing too, because fuck the woke assholes. And not to mention that it got people to like Game of Thrones again. And you heard my theory about what inspired the slogan of the Targaryens.
For me, it's all about Team Black.
Team Green does have justification why they're doing what they're doing. The beginning was fucked up because it was just Otto Hightower pimping out his daughter to the king so he can rule the kingdom and shit. But Alicent, even though she was just kind of a puppet in her dad's scheme, she was very lawful and obviously very sexually repressed. And according to the books, Rhaenyra is very jealous of Alicent that she kept her figure. Very petty shit.
I've never admitted to a mistake. What would I...
Team Green at least have one cool member, Aemon,
who's just basically a Daemon 2.0, but more spiteful. Come on! Aemon done fucked up by letting his dragon eat Lucerys, and Rhaenyra is pissed.
Go Team Black.
I've made a huge mistake.
All in all, a good season. Can't wait for season 2. And as for other shows that just ended, well, season-wise, Little Demon, I'm not a fan of that show. Layla loves that show. Every time I watch that show, it makes me want to watch better shows like Ugly Americans or something. This season, Arch has been pretty decent, made up for the other shitty Dreamland ones, you know, where he's been in a coma and he has uncanonical stuff. I also checked out the new Guillermo del Toro series. That's pretty good, but need to get out of my cave and continue on with Halloween weekend. And it all started at the Rainbow for their Halloween party. I mostly hung out with Uncle Richard. He got his pound of weed. Didn't really watch the costume contest. In fact,
I don't mean to put down anybody, but they really dropped the ball this year. How is it that COVID year, 2020, was more poppin' than this? I mean, yeah, you were going against Mini-Sin, but everybody goes to Mini-Sin and no one cares. Is it because nothing good was happening, like, show-wise that day? Is it because everybody went to emo karaoke the night before?
Come on!
It was kind of disappointing. I didn't even care about the prizes, but this is what happens when, you know, your celebrity host dies, your other celebrity host goes to jail.
Why would you do that? Why would you do any of that?
Because you don't want to associate yourselves with them. I don't count. Mind you, I used to be a judge there.
Really?
Yeah, so, you need me.
Go fuck yourself.
Next year, I want to be a judge again.
And to think there was a time when I actually thought thought you were cool.
After that, we all went to our homegirl Lisa's. Yeah, that Lisa place to have a cocktail or two and drop off Layla because she had to go to the airport the next day. And well, Lisa lives closer to the airport than we do. And, you know, so we took off. Next night, Layla's mom comes into town, hung out there for a bit. Then when they passed out, me and Predapool went to the Paramount in East LA for the Bomboras.
What did you say, dickhead?
I'll repeat myself.
Yeah, original lineup to Bomboras at the fucking Paramount in East LA. The venue's pretty creepy because it's all secretive. The outside kind of looks like a rundown fucking like restaurant, and you enter through the upstairs. It's all like James Bondy. It's fucking awesome. Very speakeasy and shit. I like it. The parking sucks. If you have a handicap placard and Smartwood parking, then you're safe. We got there just in time for the Bomboras, and oh my god, I've been waiting 20-something years to see this band. I first knew about this band when they were one of the two bands signed to Rob Zombie's label, Zombie A Go-Go Records, back in '98, and they were on that compilation. You know, the Halloween Hootenanny, that was the first ever appearance of like Deadbolt.
Who the hell is Mrs. Valdez?
And like I said, mind you, I also knew about the band following Jake and Johnny from Lords of Altamont. And I knew the stories of how insane their stage shows are and their whole get-up. And oh god, it did not disappoint. They played a really long set to the point where basically, like, I had to leave after the encore. It ain't over until the Oregon's on fire, and I already saw the Oregon on fire. I don't really need to stay for like 5 encores. So after that, we went to this bar off of Selma and Cahuenga for the, ready for this? Cotton Case Halloween party. And oh dude, I wish I was more drunk because there was so much pussy there. I mean, it was the opposite of a sausage fest. It was a taco party. Yes. Oh my god, so much eye candy, as you can tell by the go-go dancers and the hot girls wearing stilts.
Man, I need a fucking stripper so bad.
The next night, I was supposed to go to Powerman 5000, but, well, I'm worn out. Layla and her mom went to Powerman 5000. I heard it was fun. We'll find out that. Here we go.
I hung out with my mom this weekend. It was really fun. I really missed her, and it was great spending time with her too. We stayed in like the Dixie over in Thai Town. I don't recommend it. I mean, I recommend it if you're just trying to be cheap, because there's like a Ross, Ralph's right across the street, and a Daiso. So that was pretty fucking cool. I took her to the whiskey and then to go see Powerman 5000. After that, I went to the Rainbow just for a few nightcaps and like a pizza because she was hungry. She wanted a pizza. And then we went home, and I'm like, "Oh, you don't want to go to an after party?" She's like, "Layla, I can't." And so yeah, it's pretty funny. But anywho, also we went down to Venice and Santa Monica, had a good time, had some ice cream, and, you know, bonded, did the mother-daughter bond. Oh, we went on the Ferris wheel, that was cool. And then we went back to the hotel, and she had an early flight, so she kicked me out of my ass.
The next night, we went to Universal Bar and Grill for Metal Mayhem Saturday with Rhythm Coffin, the Gasleys, and of course, Nightmare, Alice Cooper tribute. And it was a very different Metal Mayhem because, well, Nick was co-promoter rather than main promoter. A lot of Valley people, and kind of disappointing. I'm not gonna talk shit because I'm friends with a lot of people. I've been talking shit a lot in this video anyway, but it was whatever. On the bright side, I met up with Layla, hung out with her for a bit. Then, after a few songs after Nightmare played, me, Jesse, and Layla went to the Rainbow, and a lot of washed up 80s rockers because at the whiskey was Autograph and the Hurricane. Ran into Dan Crenshaw, that was cool, but other than that, kind of bored. Then we went to the after hours,
and I was so exhausted I passed out in the car.
Get on with it.
Yes, get on with it!
Then it was fucking Halloween, and, well, here's the positive that happened.
Me and Layla got couples costume, and I saw Julian K. That's basically it. The rest of the night, we went to the Rainbow. I was broke, obviously, so I had to booch off everybody. Then I walked to the Viper Room, ran into Carrie.
Fucking energy vampire, motherfucker.
And then we saw Julian K.
Is there something on your mind?
Tommy Black got me a free shot, so that was awesome. And went back to the Rainbow and ended up at Bumper's house. That's the gist of it. CZ was in town. That was my Halloween.
Now that human mating season is over, it is now the holidays. That is Thanksgiving, then Christmas and Hanukkah, and then New Year's. Shocktober sucked because even if I was one of those horror movie nerds who just binge watch Shudder and Halloween, that selection sucked too. There was no good horror movies, except for Terrifier 2. That's it. Like what? Halloween Ends? You know how much of a fucking disappointment that movie was. The Gender Swap Hellraiser? Who cares? Hocus Pocus 2? Or they call it Cringe? The Rob Zombie Monsters. Better than Hocus Pocus 2, I'll tell you that much. Halloween Horror Nights hosted by The Weeknd. It's Halloween, not summer. The Shaq Extravaganza, or what the hell it's called, hosted by Shaq. How is that appropriate for Halloween? I get it. You're a generation of posers who want to kill rock and roll because what's hip to you guys is crap. I mean, you really like shit music, even stuff that makes no sense.
But in short, I should have went to Mexico City. It would have made the month better for me. Fuck this bullshit. I'm a fucking simp. Thursday, November 10th for Edema at the Whiskey. And well, I missed that. Apparently no one showed up and it was a early show. So they were over by 11:30 and I got there at 11:30. So missed that. But ran into some buddies. More importantly, actor Mickey Rivers. You might know him from the movie Unfriended. And we went to his mansion party up in the hills. That was cool. The next day was Metal Mayhem Friday. I didn't really watch the bands. Did hang out with Johnny Love, formerly of Love Hate. Tried to go to the Whiskey. Also another early show. So I ended up going to the Viper Room. I forgot who played. Then after that, went back to the Rainbow and to the Cat House after hours, South Central LA. So cool. The next night, gotta make up for something, right? So I wanted to go to the launch of whatever the fuck the banner, the Future Losers 1 and 2 banner. And I also wanted to go to Bar Sinister for Black Heroin Gallery, but left too late. So I ended up at the Viper Room for Hollywood Apocalypse and the Whiskey for Circus of Power. While there, ran into Captain Anarchy, saw what's up. Then the Rainbow, Blitz Kid, but I decided to stay in because I'm broke, and Layla had to prepare for a party the following Sunday. So 19th, Saturday, where I went to HCH's Friendsgiving, and then I went to this awesome fucking industry mansion party in the hills. Ran into some famous TikTokers as well as my buddy Mick River. It was crazy, but when I got there, they were almost out of booze, so I had to like hunt for booze. Then after that, we went to Modi's stupid after hours.
You know, I have a little prepared speech I tell my suitor when he wants more than I'd like to give him. Gee, Blake, I had a really nice...
Save the speeches for Malcolm X. I just want to get laid.
Then the following Tuesday, we all went to the Whiskey for the first night of Green Jello TV's residency. And right when we got there, Tequila and Richard Eastman were doing a duet of a Rolling Stones song. It was fun. It was cool. They had a crazy punk rocker chick. Layla and my friend Young popped her on mushrooms, so they really enjoyed it. And then we went to the Rainbow, blah, blah, blah. Who cares? Then on the following Thursday was Thanksgiving, and Predapool's lady ditched him on the holiday, so we decided to go to the Rainbow. They had their jam night. It was alright.
If I have to sing Kumbaya one more time.
After Thanksgiving, I was supposed to go see the Super Suckers, you know, this song. Pretty fucked up. Yeah, at the Whiskey, but we ended up staying in, and a good thing too, because I heard that no one showed up.
Really?
Oh. Dodged the bullet on that one. Then the next day was Metal Mayhem Saturday at Universal Bar and Grill, and well, what do you expect? It's what you think it would be the Saturday after Thanksgiving, the day after Black Friday. It was kind of boring and dead, but I did drink plenty of free beer, so that was good. And Raymond was there to promote my mag, so that was also good. So we ended up the Rainbow, and then we went to the after hours, and that was a fucking wasted weekend. I should have went to Super Suckers, even though it would have been dead, but
whatever.
The following week I stayed in. I would have went to see Everclear, but it was an early show, and there's nothing that weekend that happened, so
whatever.
Instead, me and Layla binge watch Farscape.
My name is John Crichton, an astronaut. A radiation wave hit, and I got shot through a wormhole. I'm lost in some distant part of the universe on a ship, a living ship full of strange alien life forms. Help me, help me. Listen, please.
Then the following week was fucking grueling. I stayed in for Jeff Tate so I could watch more, obviously, Farscape. No! Then the next day was fucking Guttermouth at the Whiskey. While there, ran into Jim Moore, the band Moore, who's in town this week, and just drank and partied, and it was fucking Guttermouth.
Well, duh.
And after the Guttermouth, I went to the Viper Room and saw some disco band. Yeah, treated like royalty. You rock, Tommy Black. Then the next night was the big night. Metal Mayhem Friday, which as you saw in the last couple of our videos, with Rebel and Hollywood 77. Got there a little early, got to see a few bands, shot the shit with a few other, local bands and stuff. And then, of course, I did the last song, which was, yes, Number One with a Bullet, and I fucking ruled. After that, everybody jumped on a party bus and went to the Cat House in South Central LA. Friday, December 16th, where I snuck out of the house to go see Strawberry Alarm Clock at the Whiskey. And kind of disappointing because they didn't have their full stage show with the bowls and the visuals, and I found out why. Because last time they played, they took forever to set up and tear down.
I mean, come on!
The entire security had to...
Well, it's kind of fucked up.
They ended up out of the Whiskey by 4 a.m. because the drummer doesn't let anybody touch his stuff. He invited everybody in his family to help out with the visuals and then just go home and get drunk because he suffers from Alzheimer's. So everybody had to suffer from a picky, senile, old douchebag.
I'm so angry. It was chaos. Fucking chaos.
What are you talking about, huh?
They did play some cool songs. I missed out on it.
Sense and peppermints, the color of time. Who cares what games we choose?
And well, not bad. The next day, I was supposed to be the Peppermint Creeps reunion show, but I can't support Macy, as you saw in a prior video.
Come on!
Macy Malone may be a piece of shit who left his wife and kids to get his drummer sloppy seconds, but seriously, saying lies like Tracy dying on the Friday the 13th is just pro-Macy propaganda. And fuck Macy Malone. Blink-182 sounding motherfucker.
Shut up and get to the point!
Stayed home, and my family had some Christmas party. The day after that, my chick had a Christmas party, and didn't resurface until the following Wednesday for the Bullet Boys. And
fuck yeah!
Because the year before that, half the band had to go to rehab, so it was an acoustic set. This time, full set, and I haven't seen such a milking of a last song that everybody knows since I've seen G-Tom Mac.
He milked the shit out of this song.
Yeah, but it was awesome. It almost felt like a stadium show because there were drum solos, guitar solos, no bass solos because, well, that was one of the guys in rehab. Mark Terrain, You Rule.
Oh, yeah!
Then after that, went to Wednesday's party, aka Mini Sin, and fuck was it packed. A lot of hot bitches. Also while there, I ran into Tanya from formerly the White Trash Debutantes. It was cool to reconnect with her. She's awesome. Told her about how I sang with Rebel Rebel a couple weeks prior. It was also Hanukkah week. Got a cool bunch of presents. Watched a lot of Christmas media. And got to reconnect with a lot of Christmas movies like Harold and Kumar Christmas, the 30th anniversary of Home Alone 2, as well as Batman Returns. And of course, I watched my usual Scrooged and Fat Man.
I've come for your head, fat man!
Most importantly, on Christmas Day, I actually went to the movies and saw Violent Night.
I don't want any trouble, okay? Something's gonna scooch up that chimney.
And, well, the parts that were good were good. The rest of the movie was
whatever.
Giallo Gazamo's terrorist character was cool, but he was not as awesome as Walton Goggins in Fat Man. But David Harbour is an awesome Santa. I mean, especially because they did a lot of callbacks to Santa's Viking roots. And, yeah, it was pretty cool. The real heart of the movie was the little girl. And then it was Kwanzaa. You saw what I said about Kwanzaa. You gotta realize this holiday started in 1966.
Dr. Maulana Karinga, American professor of Pan-African Studies at the California State University at Long Beach, established Kwanzaa in 1966 during the aftermath of the Watts Riot and the Black Freedom Movement.
Celebration, I showed Layla New Jack City and Posse, filmed by heir to the blaxploitation genre, Mario Van Peebles.
The only way y'all's gonna keep this land is to stand up and fight for it.
I was gonna continue and watch Panther, but I'm all...
No, this is my private property. According to California law, we got a constitutional right to bear arms.
What?
Okay, move along. Go on about your business. Wait, brothers and sisters, no. You ain't gotta go nowhere. This is your business. Stay right here. The law says, as long as you stand a reasonable distance, that's 8 to 10 feet to be exact, you got a right to observe the police carrying out their duties. From what I can see, you're standing 22 feet away from this man.
Then on the following Wednesday, I was supposed to go see Jack Russell of Great White, but my brother got distracted, and we didn't get there in time to see the band, but upstairs at the Whiskey was Sebastian Bach's wife's birthday party, so that was fun. Got to say what's up and shit. Ran into my homeboy Hugo, and yeah. The next day, we warped handed to the strip for Jet Boy. Got there just in time to hear this song. Yeah, that was good. Rest of the night was ho-hum. The next day, I was supposed to go see Stephen Piercy, but... Whatever! I've seen Stephen Piercy twice already this year, so let's see what happened on New Year's. Before we continue, let's get to today's sponsor, Raid Shadow Legends. Just kidding. Fuck that shit. I mean, seriously. Fuck these mobile game, freemium bullshit. I think South Park pointed out here.
Don't think about that. Think about all the money. Here, have a bump of coke.
Yeah, no thanks to you. And I didn't go out.
But why?
My chick was sick, and I ditched her last year. I'm not doing it again. You can call me pussy whipped or being a douche, but I'm sorry. I've been with her for 8 years. My ego's not more important than her. And maybe, just maybe, who knows, knock on wood, she might actually let me go to fucking Mexico City with HTH this time, or Germany or whatever. So that's my 2022. It was complete shit, but what do you expect? It's Year of the Tiger. It's always a fight. I mean, like one thing I've always known about Year of the Tiger, a lot of copycat movies, hence the 3 Pinocchios this year, and a foreshadowing the music for the next cycle. And oh god, it is all shit. But on the bright side, Hollywood studios learned that hiring woke activist assholes who don't know shit about the content is not the best business decision. Disney did not learn their lesson by giving a weatherman the company again. And yeah, gonna be Year of the Rabbit soon, because you know Chinese New Year's isn't until fucking February. And now what I have to say about Stanton LaVey. Here we go.
GoFundMe will set up for the family.
Yeah, of course they have a GoFundMe. Because the Satanic Temple, or sorry, the Satanic Church, are broke-ass losers, proving that what I always say about Satanists. You're fucking retard.
What did you say, dickhead?
I'll repeat myself.
I'd go into detail, but you know, I'm just basically just trolling all of you anyway. So, whatever. I'd say special thanks to people, but I gotta go on Sub Pals and YT Pals just to try to get 100 views on here, because the algorithm could suck. Coming soon. Oh, I'm doing a deep, insane, deep dive into the entire lore of The Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy. Because if you didn't know this, back in 2012, I tried to start a disaster area tribute band.
The Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy notes that the disaster area, the Plutonian rock band, the Yagurkaka mine zones, is generally held to be not only the loudest rock band in the galaxy, but in fact the loudest noise of any kind at all. Oh yeah!
I almost have a full collection of Star Wars Legacy, you know, from Dark Horse Comics, you know, when Star Wars comics were good, and my favorite character, Cade Skywalker. I also got the Predator Omnibus by Dark Horse Comics, because fuck Disney, fuck Marvel. That lore's badass. They actually gave the lore to Predator, you know, in Dark Horse Comics. I also got Axe Cop and a bunch of other things, so stay tuned on that shit.
Plus the fucking message is bomb.com.
Chaos is a ladder.
Shout out to our patrons, in order of importance, the Shadow Vessel, the Fly Attractor, Janitor Jake, Count Morivond, Gary Mossberg, and of course Ryan Zacher. If you have any opinions on what I'm saying, like and comment. Just say some shit in the comments. I need more hate mail anyway, because apparently the only way I actually get views is when I piss people off.
The universe is there to help us. It's not a fucking miracle worker.
And only by admitting what we are can we get what we want.
Stamp LeVay. And when it comes to heirs to cult leaders, or just cult leaders in general that I know personally, I'm Team Matthew all the way. I don't give a fuck what they said on whatever that news show that Matthew's not the actual son of Charles Manson. He's Charlie's kid, and Charlie's kid's cool, and it just proves that the Manson family is cooler than the fucking LeVay family. And I never even liked Charlie Manson. But if it goes to a cult, that's cool. Shout out to Gittle Partridge and the Partridge Family Temple. Peace the fuck out.